Welcome to today's video. This video is about why we forget names so fast. A curious quirk of the human brain that almost everyone experiences. Not too long ago, I found myself in a similar situation. At a networking event, I was introduced to several people in quick succession. Moments later, I couldn't recall a single name. It was as if their introductions evaporated into thin air, leaving me awkwardly trying to keep the conversation going without appearing rude. I felt a mix of embarrassment and frustration, wondering if they noticed my struggle. As the event went on, I found myself relying on context clues and body language to navigate interactions, constantly hoping the names would resurface. You meet someone new, they introduce themselves, and seconds later, the name's gone. Why does this happen? Is it poor memory, or is your brain doing exactly what it's designed to do? Let's explore the fascinating science behind forgetting and what it reveals about how your brain works. When you meet someone for the first time, your brain is bombarded with information. Their face, their voice, what they're wearing, your surroundings, and what you're thinking about saying next. Your mind juggles so much input that the name, a small and often abstract piece of data, doesn't get encoded adequately into memory. Encoding is the process by which information is transformed into a memory. It's the first step in memory formation, and it relies heavily on attention. According to a study conducted by psychologists at the University of Notre Dame, this phenomenon occurs because our attention is often scattered across multiple stimuli, making it challenging for specific details like names to be transferred into long-term memory effectively. In the study, participants were tasked with engaging in conversation while exposed to various distractions, such as background noise and visual stimuli to mimic real-life social settings. The study revealed that under these conditions, names are one of the first details to falter, with participants recalling names correctly less than 30% of the time when distracted by other sensory inputs. Here's the truth. You don't actually forget names. You often never fully remember them in the first place. The hippocampus, the part of your brain that helps turn short-term memories into long-term ones, can only store information you've paid close attention to. When someone says their name, most of us are focused on first impressions. Do I look confident? What should I say next? What's their job again? Instead of the sound of their name. That means the name never makes it into long-term memory storage. There's also a key psychological factor. Names are arbitrary. They don't describe the person. They don't tell you what they do, where they're from, or how they relate to you. Our brains are built to remember meaningful or emotionally relevant information, not random labels. That's why it's much easier to remember that someone is a teacher from London who loves dogs than to recognize their actual name is Rachel. In contrast, when you learn new words in your own language, they attach to ideas you already understand. Names don't have that anchor. They're disconnected from context. Your brain stores them in a kind of loose file that's easy to misplace. Neuroscientists call this the next-in-line effect. When you're focused on what you will say next, you pay less attention to what's being said to you. That means when someone tells you their name, your attention isn't fully there, and the information slips past your mental filter. But there's another piece of the puzzle. Short-term memory capacity. Your working memory, The part of your brain that temporarily holds information can only handle about 7 items at once. Give or take a few. If your mind is juggling thoughts, your phone, background noise, or even a mild stress response, that fragile short-term storage fills up fast. The new name doesn't cut it. Here's a quick sequence to boost your chances of remembering names. 1. Pause before introductions and focus solely on the person and their name. For example, when meeting someone named Lily at a party. 2. Take a deep breath and clear your mind of unnecessary distractions. 3. As they introduce themselves, repeat their names silently. To yourself, Lily. Lily. 4. Create a visual association, like imagining a lily flower subtly pinned to her outfit to make the name memorable. 5. Silently repeat the name to yourself several times, reinforcing your memory. These steps free up space in your working memory, making it easier to retain the name. Interestingly, the opposite is true for faces. Our brains are wired to remember faces incredibly well. It's an evolutionary advantage. Recognizing allies, threats, or family was vital for survival. But linking a random word, a name to a face, is much newer in evolutionary terms, and our brains haven't fully optimized for that. However, here's some good news. Forgetting names doesn't mean you have a bad memory. It means your brain is prioritizing meaning and context over random details. You can train yourself to remember better by attaching meaning to names. For example, if someone says, "Hi, I'm Lily. Imagine a flower growing on their shoulder." It may sound silly, but it creates a visual anchor that helps your hippocampus store that name in long-term memory. Another fun technique is to make a rhyme or song with the person's name to create a memorable association. Or you can connect their name with a famous figure or character. For instance, if their name is George, you might think of George Clooney or George Washington. Additionally, try using wordplay. For example, if someone is named Mark, picture them holding a marketing report as it creates a quirky mental image. To support different learning preferences, consider using mnemonic devices like creating acronyms or employing storytelling, where you craft a short narrative involving the person's name and related contexts. These creative connections can significantly improve your ability to recall names later. Remember, improvement takes practice and patience. It's normal to forget sometimes, so don't be too hard on yourself. Every effort you make to practice these techniques is progress, and over time, you'll notice your skills improving. Stay positive and encouraged as you continue to grow. Studies have shown that people who employ these visualization techniques can remember names much more effectively. In one study, participants were asked to pair names with a distinctive visual image and then recall these names in a testing phase. Those who used visual imagery to associate names improved their recall rate by 65%. Anecdotal evidence supports these findings, too, with many individuals reporting success in recalling names using these methods. By giving simple memory tricks a try, remembering names becomes much easier. Another trick: repeat the name out loud as soon as you hear it. "Nice to meet you, Lily." This forces your brain to process it through multiple sensory channels: listening, speaking, and memory association. Ultimately, We forget names so fast because our brains are optimized for survival, not social grace. The mind constantly filters what it considers essential, and unless a name is tied to emotion or relevance, it gets tossed aside. So next time you forget someone's name, don't beat yourself up. Your brain is just being efficient. With a bit of awareness and memory strategy, you can outsmart your own neural shortcuts and remember names with ease. Embrace these strategies as small steps toward a bigger journey of self-improvement. Remember, learning and growth are lifelong pursuits, and every effort you put into mastering these techniques is a step towards becoming more connected and engaged in your interactions. Stay motivated and believe in your ability to learn and grow. You've got this. Here's a challenge for you. At your next social event, choose one of the memory techniques we've discussed and apply it when meeting new people. Notice how it affects your ability to remember names and reflect on the experience. This engaging exercise will make social interactions more rewarding and enhance your memory skills. Afterward, share your results in the comments section. Let us know how it went and what technique worked best for you. Your feedback will help create a supportive community of learners who are all working to improve together. Stay curious, because understanding your brain is the first step to mastering it. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more fascinating science facts, hit like and subscribe. And if you want to see the full playlist, the link is in the description.